The concept of charismatic leadership has its origins in Weber, who applied the theological concept of charisms, divine gifts, to describe extraordinary leaders who are seen as inspirational, visionary, and heroic. According to Weber, charismatic leadership is exercised in the context of a crisis, when the leader inspires confidence in his vision to resolve the crisis. According to House 1976, the level of charismatic leadership may be determined by followers' trust in the correctness of the leader's beliefs, similarity of followers' beliefs to the leader's beliefs, unquestioning acceptance of the leader by followers, followers' affection for the leader, followers' willing obedience to the leader, emotional involvement of followers in the mission of the organization, heightened performance goals of followers, belief of followers that they are able to contribute to the success of the group's mission. Conger 1987 posits 5 charismatic leader traits and behaviors: casts a vision that is radically different from the status quo, employs unconventional methods and strategies to achieve the vision, takes personal risks and makes sacrifices, projects confidence, and uses a persuasive appeal to followers. Conger also suggests that charismatic leaders influence their followers through personal identifications. The followers' compulsion to identify with the leader in their internalization of the leader's values and beliefs. A positive example of charismatic leadership could include Martin Luther King Jr., who inspired millions with his vision, willingness to sacrifice himself personally, strategic use of nonviolence, identification with the struggles of his devoted followers, and projection of courage and confidence. At the other end of the scale, Adolf Hitler rose to power with his vision to restore Germany to its glory and overcome years of social, economic, and political struggles after World War I. One major problem with the focus on charismatic leaders is that it skews expectations. Some individuals may decide not to pursue leadership opportunities because they do not see themselves fitting the mold of a corporate savior. Further, those who select leaders may be swayed more by candidates' social attributes than their character or understanding of the firm's needs and challenges. As Curana 2002 points out, an emphasis on the elusive culturally based qualities of leadership and charisma at the expense of concrete knowledge of a firm and its problems not only fails to hire the best people available for the jobs at hand, but also tends to produce leaders with almost identical social, cultural, and demographic characteristics. The term transformational leadership was first used by James McGregor Burns, 1978, who used the term to refer to leaders who are attentive to the needs and motives of followers and try to help them achieve their full potential. Burns distinguished transformational leadership from transactional leadership, which emphasizes the exchanges that occur between leaders and their followers based on their respective self-interests. He states, transforming leadership ultimately becomes moral in that it raises a level of human conduct and ethical aspiration of both leader and led, and thus has a transforming effect on both. In the 1980s, Bernard Bass, 1985, expanded on the concept of transformational leadership. In his model, leaders motivate others to seek the greater good instead of self-interest through the use of idealized influence, acting as role models, inspirational motivation, acting in ways that inspire and motivate, intellectual stimulation, stimulating creativity in followers, and individualized consideration, addressing the individual needs of each follower. In contrast, Bass saw transactional leaders using such techniques as contingent rewards, negative reinforcement, and negative feedback. At about the time, Bennis and Nanus, 1985, conducted research on transformational leadership and found that transformational leaders have a clear vision of the organization's future. They are social architects that transform their organization's values and norms. They create trust by being reliable and consistent in their leadership, and they were able to leverage their strengths, instilling a sense of confidence. The theory of transformational leadership has a number of strengths and weaknesses. It reminds us that the importance of vision, mission, and values, as well as the importance of recognizing followers' needs, values, and morals. Further, in its purest form, it inspires followers to seek the greater good and move to higher standards of moral responsibility. At the same time, transformational leadership, like charismatic leadership, glorifies the leader as a heroic figure and may be subject to abuse by those who seek to develop cult followings and inspire others to destructive patterns of behavior.